Hey y'all,
It's awkward.
I'm trying to get it together. Okay.
Get it
Hey y'all,
together, people.
we just we just gonna jump right on in and talk about this topic that's been hot for a little bit. It's sexless marriages. I'm new to it. I mean I'm not new to it because I ain't doing it, but I'm saying I'm new to hearing about the theory of a sexless marriage. I didn't even never know that exists.
We be talking, what's the word? Everything you never heard. We be talking, oh, talking. Tamara, Kim, Shika, and they be talking.
So you go ahead and start us off, boo boo.
Me inside, like you know me inside.
Oh, because if I'm telling you something, I'm not telling you and your husband. I'm telling you. I'm not telling you and your wife.
Make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe. And don't forget to hit the post notification bell so you don't miss a single video, because you know they be talking, period.
But I know Tamara was saying about in Japan, some people were going for amount of time, right, Tamara?
Yeah, the first time I heard about it was in Japan, and there was quite a few people in Japan that were in marriages and they weren't having sex.
Sexless marriage should not even be a marriage to me.
First of all, that's not biblical. But
look,
there's some reasons. Like there's different reasons why marriages end up sexless. Like you said before, Kim, they could, if there's a sickness going on, one of them are sick and they're unable to do it.
Yeah, that's understandable.
Technically, that's
remember in sickness and in health.
Sickness and in health, yeah.
Right.
Draws on when I'm down.
And
when
keep
I'm
on.
And keep them on when I'm down. Sickness and in health, right?
So this is the definition right here. Sexless marriage is a marital union in which little or no sexual activity occurs between the two spouses. The U.S. National Health and Social Life Survey in 1992 found that 2% of married respondents aged 18 to 59 reported no sexual intimacy in the past year. So within 1 year, no intimacy, or maybe like little to no intimacy at all in their marriage. And it's not because there's somebody sick, but like there's no desire. There's a lack of desire. There's could be, I consider postpartum depression to be a type of sickness. So I don't want to count that. But like when there's no more desire, you
need to cut your losses.
They don't want, you can't even touch that girl. She like,
How long?
And so like, what is that? What can that do to relationship? Huh?
How long does it have to be before it's considered a sexless marriage? Because you said a year. I mean, at 2-3 weeks, I'm looking like, wait a minute, is this a sexless marriage? You know what I mean? So I'm just saying. I'm being honest. If
I agree. I agree.
If you're going a month and y'all ain't been intimate, something wrong. I'm looking at him like, wait a minute.
6 months and beyond is what the definition is. 6 months and beyond is sex.
Too long, honey.
And my thing is,
you not filed a tax return and got the return back that time. That took long. That's almost half a year.
Yeah, that is. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's crazy. So what do you think that will do to a relationship? Like, you know what I'm saying?
I don't think there is a relationship. I think by the time you've reached the point of not having the sex, the intimate time with each other, you no longer have a relationship. That left way before the sex left, because the sex is like the mechanical part of it. You know what I mean? Like your body gonna react regardless. You feel what I'm saying? It's gonna do what it's gonna do. The intimacy of it is something that I could see that would require you having to like have a relationship and having that, oh, I feel you, you feel me. But the sex is like a mechanical thing. So by the time you've gotten rid of the sex, you've lost the intimacy, you've lost the trust, you've lost the friendship, you've lost the belief. Like everything is already gone. The sex is just the last thing to go. And you don't even realize that the sex left because everything that actually mattered left before that.
Right.
So you didn't miss the fact that the sex wasn't there.
The sex is not even a thing. Like you're not even gonna think about it if you're not.
Yeah.
No.
Now this is strictly if there's nothing wrong with a person, correct? This is
Well,
strictly-
it says causes of sexless relationships or sexless health issues, unmatched libido.
Oh, now that's a big one.
Yeah.
That's
What
the
you say?
big one.
What she said?
Unmatched libido.
Okay.
Yes.
You
Life
added 10, they added
transition.
2.
But
Right.
See,
You know?
mm-mm.
So they looking
just
at
believe
you like,
I believe in
Huh?
getting the other person to the 10. You get what I'm saying? If you at 2 and I'm at a 10,
How?
we
How?
gotta change some stuff up.
Explain.
You know what I mean?
How, Kim? How now?
Explain.
okay, well, you gotta tell them
Tell us.
Okay, well, no,
how to,
well,
how
I
to
feel
increase
like
the libido.
right. I feel like if you got a partner and you you gotta learn them. There's something
Okay.
that's gonna turn that light on. There's something that's gonna spark their interest or pique their interest. I think there's
Gotcha.
something you can do. You know what I mean? Even if it's going to therapy as a couple and explaining I need it more than he needed, you know, and put it where you know, in a perspective of where this is how it makes me feel when I can't arouse you. You get what I'm saying? And then that person can be like, well, this is what aroused me. You get what I'm saying? I think the conversation is key. Like I ain't gonna know how to please you if
You're right. A
can't
conversation is
communicate.
key, but I think you gotta identify why the libido is so low in
Well,
the
that's
first
what I'm
Yeah, that's
saying.
what you were saying.
Is it because you're going through something? Is it because you're going through menopause? Are you depressed? Is there something wrong, like something else going on? It
Yeah.
can't just be because I don't find you attractive.
No,
Or
it
maybe it
cannot be
is. I don't
just
know.
'Cause all they gotta do, according to Tamara, is stick the head in.
It's just the tip.
Oh my God.
That fixes the libido problem.
All you need is a
Into the
tip.
thick of it. Into the
I
thick
don't
of
know. I
it.
find that very sad a lot of times because it's common in most marriages that for one, you don't know your spouse. You know, the
Absolutely. Yeah.
communication is not where it needs to be. You know, like when we go back to our famous doctor that's been on, if you don't feel safe, you know what I'm saying? That you ain't getting nothing anyway. You know what I mean? The sex is gonna be the last thing on your mind. Communicate. True. Like I had to learn the hard way to talk about. Well, y'all like, I'm for real. I had to learn the hard way to talk about what I wanted, why I wanted it, you know. Because if you can say what you want and they don't know why it's important to you, it's gonna be like an afterthought for them. You know what I mean? I hear you, but
I
don't
got you.
You get what I'm saying? So the communication has to definitely be key when dealing with a long-term partner, you know, because if you don't
And
know me
jumping off.
by 6 months, you know what I mean? We've been in this thing, you know, for a minute. You don't know what turns me on, or you ain't trying to figure out, you know, why I am where I am. You know, you'll never get anywhere, I don't think.
I think we have,
Absolutely.
now that you said that, I think we had talked something out. I think it wasn't about sexless marriages, but we talked about like communication being so important in relationships, and even when it comes to intimacy and sexual contact and stuff like that, not being able to say what you want, or just being timid, or being timid because you have a low self-esteem or something else is going on with you. You don't feel like you're desirable and stuff like that. And if you feel in those types of ways, then I mean, I could see why you wouldn't want anybody to touch you. Not because you're not attracted to them, but you feel some type of way about yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like you have some work that you need to do within yourself. You know, I feel like some things is gonna have to be you, somebody else. The responsibility of somebody else to figure out what's wrong with you, to me, in some ways, kind of unfair. If you got some things going on with you that you need to work on, because it can't always be, you know, you don't know what turned me on. Maybe you just don't. You need to work on yourself and figure out why your self-esteem is so low, and why you can't communicate what you want or what you don't want. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I get that, but in a marriage, I mean, we should know each other. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
we should. Yeah.
That's the key. We should know each other, and a lot of times we prematurely get in marriages, and we don't know a thing about what we getting into. So that
Mhm.
happens a lot, and that probably a lot of the reason why they go sexless marriages, because now old Johnny over here giving me everything I want. You get what I'm saying?
Not
And
John.
you ain't really, okay, Johnny is just a name, so anyway, but you getting what you want out of this person over here, and you ain't even giving the person at home that you're committed to a fair chance to give those things to you, because sometimes you ain't got to tell Johnny that I want it right here. You ain't got to tell you get what I'm saying? They interested in what's pleasing you.
Right.
I was about to say most of the time it got to be something wrong with the male in the relationship if it's sexless because
They gonna do it regardless, right?
no
I mean,
matter
okay,
what,
not
they want
everybody,
it
but
when you know. You like, hold on, no, not
right.
I talked to my husband the other day. He was like, "Listen, I want way more than what I beg you for." I'm like, "God,
Yes.
because that's just where most men, and I've heard this from different women in different marriages that their husbands were more like, okay, let's do it more than they were. So I'm just sitting here thinking, like, if your marriage sexless, then what's wrong with your husband? Not just because
Pretty much.
I could go longer than what Daniel, you know what I mean, can. And if it wasn't for him, we wouldn't be sexless, but we would be borderline. Because I'm so think about it with
Women
me,
are just different.
it's the one I'm thinking about going home. I gotta fold these clothes because I left those in the dryer before I left. That's on my list because I want to get that out of the way.
Mhm.
I'm gonna get backed up on clothes when you got 15,000 people in the house. I just got to fold.
Yeah.
Thirdly, I'm thinking about I gotta go home and cook, make sure the food is done. Let me get this. If you teach, if you got class, if you got something extra going on, you got to do I just enrolled in another like program. I got to do schoolwork. Like it's just so much more other things. I got to help my son with his work so he don't get sevens. I mean,
so what you're not gonna do is do
No,
that.
I
Baby.
feel you.
no, I
I
didn't. No,
feel you.
it was an example. Like,
I understand.
but my thing
Yeah.
is, with me, for the most part, those things are on my mind.
Yeah.
But they just had this conversation. But with him, stress is at work. When he get home, he like, oh, my babe, she gonna cook, but I'm gonna relax.
See,
He gonna get stress relief. I ain't thinking, to go home and I can relieve stress. How dare you be selfish to relieve that stress on me? And some days I be happy he do because I don't be thinking about it. But then I be like, oh, I need that little stress relief right there. So then you just never know. Honestly, some days I'm like, oh, I want to do it, but that is not every day for me. And but for a male, it's on their mind. It's top. It's top.
Yeah.
It's something they're thinking about often.
Yeah.
So,
all the time. Like get
they're
the
not
hobby.
thinking about the cares and all this other stuff like we are. They thinking about, okay, I had a stress today, but I'm gonna go home and relieve that stress.
Yeah.
That's not the way.
But wouldn't you say that some men do get turned off by whether it's a nagging wife or a jealous wife, or you know what I mean?
And men,
you think they'll still go and try to get it?
Bible says, what does the men pastor just talked about this? She said, what does the Bible say about a nagging wife? He would.
It's better for him to go sit on the roof.
On a roof.
That Negro wouldn't want to be at home because you nag so much.
Yeah.
He would rather not even be there.
Yeah.
That's a whole nother show. Like that's why he probably out in the street throwing the thing around and out.
City Boys turn up 2023.
No, but I mean, I just don't know. This sexless marriage thing really throwing me for a loop.
What would y'all say is more so that the woman the woman makes it a sexless marriage, or the man makes it a sexless marriage?
The man.
You think the
I
man?
absolutely agree. She took the word right out of my mouth. I
I think
absolutely
it's
agree.
women. I think it's the woman.
You would say that, Kim.
Both. I think it's
Right. I'm just
whoever
saying.
has
What
the
would you say?
Can
What would
I
you say,
explain?
Jamal?
Can I explain?
I
Cause
just
you so
explain. I
nice.
just
no,
explain
no,
that when
no.
I don't want it, then you will bend me over and give it to me, and then I be like, "Oh, I needed that," because no man. That's all.
But what I'm saying, women, I think
They're
make
edited
it
out.
more of a sexless marriage because my head hurt. I done folded all these clothes all day. I done took care of these kids. I done cooked. I done cleaned. I done did all this.
What do you hear? Say, I ain't trying to mess with your egg.
Okay, so let me say this. So I hear what you're saying, but this is why I say the man. Because
Okay.
if both of us are living inside of a house, then
Uh-huh.
you know exactly what the daily responsibilities are for that house.
Absolutely.
So then that means if you do not want this to be a sexless marriage or a sexless relationship, then that means in order for me to occupy the space that you want me to occupy out of mother, housekeeper, cook, and you want me into vixen, then you have to step up to facilitate and take care of some of these responsibilities. So that way, when I come in, I have the space to transition to that space to where we could be getting it in. But if when I get out the car and I leave from the car as employee and I got to come into the house as mama, cook, laundress, seamstress, tutor, everything else. And then you looking at me like, where's my vixen? I'm sorry, she called out today. She didn't, there was too many people in the Uber. We did Uber pool and there was only so many people that could fit. So there, she didn't make it in the car. So that's why for me personally, I think that it is on the men because I truly think though the man may carry a substantial load outside of the home, when he comes home, that's his, I did all of this out here to come home to have this woosah and this release. And I could just take off my clothes and I can just sit on my couch and I can just be me. Whereas a woman has her out of the home experience and she has to come home and clock in a different space. And then when I do get to the bed, you looking for me to initiate, you looking for me to want to be all on 10. And I'm sitting here like, I ain't got nothing to give. If you would help me between
automatic.
you know, like it's because women, it takes, it's it's a mental thing. I gotta clear everything that was on the to-do list out of here. So the to-do list here can get done.
Come on now. So I love it.
I agree with you if it's that extreme, but I feel like there should be some help from the man, like especially, hear me now, if both of us are going out,
absolutely,
something, and we're both coming back in, then
we both of us need to take care of the workload on the inside. Well, that's not going to be all on me.
We need
let me play devil's advocate then.
But at the end of the day, for me, why Kim gonna play devil's advocate for me? This is just for me. I can't relate with a lot of what y'all are saying. Exactly. So I can't relate with a lot of what y'all saying because for me, I don't need somebody to initiate. I can initiate. And my thing is, and I still listen, and I can be thinking about all those things, the clothes, the food, the everything. And once I see you, okay, we can worry about that later. But right now,
y'all, my friend need. Is anybody out there that's saving, love the Lord?
Pop the number up there on the screen.
So you say you love the Lord and you single and you want holler at her.
Oh, 555.
You just need somebody to trust on them.
Look.
No, oh my goodness. No, so here's the thing. You almost persuaded me to go with y'all on that. You almost persuaded me. But here's the thing. I'm biased in this situation. I am very biased because I work, I go out and do this, and my husband work, go out and do that, and we come home and he shared the load.
Well,
you know at home, he shared the load. You know,
that's how it's supposed to be.
I can't say he don't. So I personally think, okay, that's happening, right? There's no way I should be turning down anything, and y'all already know how I feel about that. I don't I don't know if I'm
I'm
biased
gonna
in
say
this
this.
area.
But go ahead, Kim. I don't want to cut you
No,
off.
no, I said in this area I may be biased because he shares the load. He do,
I don't think you're biased.
You don't think so? So I feel like it's on the woman. I still feel like it's on the woman if it's a sexless marriage.
I don't think so.
No, okay.
I think first off, to be 100% honest, I believe it's on both parties.
It's on both. Yeah, okay, I
It's
could go
both.
Thirdly, even with him, even a man, even if he comes on to share the load, because again, Daniel helped me, especially if the kids have to go out. He's the one doing that, doing whatever. He'll cook some days or whatever the case may be. But his sharing the load, he still don't mentally process the load the way
share the load mentally.
Because when he clean up, he gonna sweep that pile over there, and he done moved everything out the way. He didn't clean now, because he walked in there, he clean. And he done got that shirt up, and he done went in there and fold them clothes, but the fold is sloppy. I mean, for me, it's a different type of sharing, because he will come in and help. He'll come in,
but he helped. But he helped.
I mean, it's not like how
or did he? Because did he make a bigger mess? So
No, but he will come in and help. He'll share it. Especially if we both going out and coming in. Even some days when I was sitting at home, he'll come in and say, "Babe, I'm cooking today." Stuff like that. And that really made me be like, okay, so when you get down, I got here. No, but there are times that I will initiate, but those times are very few in between as far as him initiating, if that makes sense. He's always like rubbing me or let's do this or popping it.
We gonna be fighting to initiate. Who gonna initiate? Who gonna get to
my
it?
homegirl, because it's been a minute. But I think I honestly still believe that, like, to be all honesty, it's both parties, because there needs to be some communication. Because if I see that something has changed with my husband and the way he acts, I'm gonna be like, hey, you ain't slap my booty. Why you ain't came over here and gave me no kiss? Or you know,
and it's those little things too. It's the little things that you're gonna see first.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, you kiss me every morning before you leave. I'm used to like certain things. Why you didn't do this, or why you ain't did that? Like, what's the problem? So I think we can put this down to lack of communication. But this Japan thing where ain't no sex, like sexless marriage, where they just don't be having sex, and that's an okay thing. I don't understand that.
So what, they just business partners?
That's the money.
Share the finances. Go on.
That's what it, to me. That's what it ends up being. Like, you're raising the kids, you're sharing the load of the finances or whatever. Taking care of.
So what you do? You backing yourself up, you pulling your shower head. Like, I know you get horny.
Or my thing is, a lot of people, they have they don't have sex with their spouse. They might have somebody else that they're having sex with.
Why get married then?
Yeah,
you know,
you got married because you fell in love with the individual, and it didn't start off as a sexless marriage.
Yeah, I'm sure it didn't start off.
It started off where y'all was somebody was a knocking our boots. Y'all were really getting it in, you know, and then somewhere in between there, they stopped working the marriage in its entirety, and instead of pulling towards each other, you know, one person got upset. Because I think what people fail to realize is it is not always going to be, I put in 50, you put in 50. I put in 100, you put in 100. Some days somebody's going to be putting in 20 and somebody could be putting in 80.
That's true.
Some days absolutely.
70 and somebody could be putting in whatever the other number is, because I suck at math. But the point that I'm making is that it's this mentality that we have when it comes down to relationships, to marriages, that it's supposed to flow in a certain way. And it's not always the case, depending on what your life circumstances and what it is that you may need to, what you may go through and experience. You know what I mean? So people get into a relationship and you get married, like you legit is like, this is my person. I'm gonna go through the rest of my life with this person. So to end up in a sexless marriage, there were many deaths that happened in that course of that relationship before you ended up with not having the sex. And there were many, literally, this is how I look at it. There was deaths of intimacy, deaths of trust, deaths of love, death of forgiveness, like forgiving one another. You know, your
That's a big
expectation
one.
of what you thought. Yeah, you know, and you're each attending a funeral of the relationship at different times.
Come on, girl, you better say that.
You know, and so then at the end, when you get to this sexless marriage and you're sitting there and you're just looking at this person, and this person is literally to you like, I have nothing there. You know, it's unfortunate, but it's all because they did not work it.
Yeah.
You know?
That's it right there, period. Ain't nothing else said. We can end this video. But you got to work. You got to work.
I worked that thing, girl. I was twisting and working that thing.
You must, when you planning on saying this part before the video started, because you had a tool. Did you go get the tool? Did you practice this? Was this a script?
Because we didn't even know what we were going to talk about. So that tool ended up being in your hand. That is,
I know, right? It was, don't even ask why this is here, y'all. Lord Jesus. But stay ready. Amen.
Yeah, so
needless to say, sexless marriages is a no-go. Okay. Figure out what the problem is and get to fixing it, or get a divorce. Ain't nobody got time for that.
Not at all.
Speak to it.
Speak to it. You tell that thing.
Because ain't no way in hell, because that's strictly from hell, okay?
Yes, it is. That's
not I won't be getting that thing put in me at least twice a week.
She is not playing.
No,
she is serious.
Talk about I just don't keep no way. I just there is no way.
Yeah, yes. But all right. Well, I guess that's it. I ain't got nothing to say about it.
Yeah, that was a great show. If you agree, if you disagree, if you think this is bull crap, please comment down below. Let us know what you think. Don't forget to subscribe, okay? Don't forget to hit that notification bell so you can know when we're posting. And we thank y'all for the support, and please comment down below. And until next time.
Bye.
Have sex.
Make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe. And don't forget to hit the post notification bell so you don't miss a single video, because you know they be talking. Period.